What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to another About Teams video. And in today, NBA, you already know what it is, a recap video of the conference finals that just ended yesterday. The Boston Celtics are moving on to the NBA Finals after coming back to defeat the Pacers. And from a non-biased perspective, I already can't help but look over them versus the Mavericks. The Celtics clearly were just better in the clutch versus the Pacers this series because Indiana, I think for the most part, 3 out of the 4 games they really could have won. Games 1, Game 3, and Game 4. But Boston kind of came back. They won with their defense because, man, I don't know. Maybe, you guys are riding that sugar high, but I just can't help it. But, Boston's offense with 2 minutes to go, they're taking all these step-back threes. Jason Tatum's not driving. And I'm like, I just can't help but think. I feel like the Mavericks are just going to be better in the clutch because the Celtics just don't impress me on that end, on the offense when it matters most. But, they took care of business. That preview's down the line probably later this week if that's Timberwolves Mavericks ends tonight. But, credit to Jaylen Brown, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Credit to the Pacers for hanging around because without Tyrese these last 2 games, I honestly thought they were going to be blowouts. But they hung around, and even though it's a sweep, it was a competitive sweep. It's just unfortunate that we might get a week off of basketball until June 6th because that's when the first Game 1 is, so we have to wait. But yeah, it was a competitive series. Indiana was kind of playing with house money after winning, probably after just making the playoffs. No one thought they would beat the Bucks. Then obviously the Giannis injury happened. They were down 0-2 to the Knicks, came back, won that series. So it's a huge credit to Indiana and what they did. But yeah, I just can't help. I'm excited to see the Celtics Mavs because boy, should be interesting.
Yeah. Last night when just talking about, the whole jacking up threes type of deal, it was another inconsistent night from Tatum, unfortunately. And although we see his stats right here, he put up a pretty good stat line, but 11 for 26 and took 11 threes. I think
I hate that
to the line one
time. 2 plays before he drives and gets almost an and one. It's like an easy dunk finish. I believe it was late in that fourth. It's why doesn't he keep driving? I don't know.
Jaylen Brown was a little more efficient. After last night, I kind of figured he'd win the MVP because, he had that Game 9-3. He had the 40-point game. So I kind of figured
that hustle play in Game 1 to knock it out of Pascal Siakam's hands because otherwise Indiana probably wins Game 1.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was, like you said, it was a really competitive 4-0 sweep. If there wasn't the last 2 minutes of the game of every game, I think Indiana would be up 3-1 right now.
Yeah, probably.
They just didn't. They didn't score a point in the last 4 minutes of last night's game, and that could be a testament to how good Boston's defense is, or just them.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Boston's defense obviously clamped down when it needed to, but it's also he played great this series. But you see Andrew Nembhard trying to drive on 4 Celtics with a minute to go. It's that's not it, man. That's not it. What are you doing? Although they wouldn't have gotten this far without Andrew Nembhard. Big Game 3 step back in New York to even win a game early on that series. And he balled out this series too. Game 3, I think, had 32. But yeah, if we didn't include the last 2 minutes of the fourth, we probably have a Pacers Timberwolves finals, which is crazy to think about. But
you got to close out though, you put it perfectly yesterday. Basketball closeout game,
and but the thing is, for me, I just can't help but look. What's more impressive to me from a non-bias, because I really don't care who wins the Celtics or Mavs. I just trust. I just trust that the Mavericks know their spots. Luka and Kyrie know what spots they need to get to in the clutch. The Celtics, when I watch them, it didn't look like that. It looked like Tatum step back 3. All right, we'll try it. Jaylen Brown, you shoot a 3. All right, if that doesn't work, all right, Derek White, you get it this possession. But they did get the stops to try it, and then eventually Derek White hit that clutch 3. But it just if it comes down to it, the Celtics Mavs will remind me a lot of what the Timberwolves do, and that's just kind of chuck up threes and hope that they go in. But the Mavericks just know their spots to go to, which is why they're regarded as the two best closers in the game, because obviously Luke and Kyrie, that backcourt is great. So it'll be interesting to see how they hold up, because that's the Celtics' bread and butter's the 3-point range. But we'll see, though, come to the finals. I'm very intrigued by this.
Yeah, they can't let one of those, regardless of who they play, whether it's the Mavericks or the Timberwolves, like they can't let teams hang around, because Indiana is, they were down their best player and they still hung around. But if you keep playing, you can't play that type of offense, at least that inconsistent offense. And
I'll say this. It's like if the Celtics play like they did this series, Mavericks would have won in probably 5. But if the Celtics play their style like they did in the regular season, or just in some of those Heat games where they were just able to blow them out, that's what you kind of need to do. The Mavericks. There are some games where the Mavs just don't show up. Luka starts off a little bit cold, or Kyrie's passive. That's where the Celtics will need to capitalize in that series. Because obviously the Clippers had some games against the Mavs where they just kind of shot the 3-ball really well and won. But yeah, it should be a very intriguing finals. Do have Josh coming on for that preview, so that'll be fun. Get a little bit of everything. Celtics fan, Mavs fan, mainly Kyrie fan, but a Mavs fan, and me, non-biased, of course.
Series ain't over yet. We'll see after tonight.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that series, we'll just hop right into it. Mavericks, Timberwolves, Western Conference Finals, Game 4 tonight, back in Dallas. Dallas will look to make their first finals appearance since 2011 with Dirk, where they ended up beating LeBron and the Heat, and was considerably a great upset at the time. For me, Timberwolves fan, I don't really have much hope right now. They could get one. The only way I could have some hope is if they got one and were able to send it back to Minnesota and then get another one. Then it's like, all right, it's all hands on deck now. But the Mavericks have just proven time and time again in the clutch, they're going to just be better. They know the spots they want to go to, and part of that is, we talked about it in the last video recap. And as great as he is at 22, doesn't really know his spots yet, where he wants to go to. And we saw it just down the stretch kind of, fade away. And the way Carl has shot, he's basically shot us out of games. But either way, all 3 games have been extremely close. So it's unfortunate, but, I don't have a reason to think Cal will drop 30 tonight and they'll win. Carl's proven that to me, and I know he's frustrated in his post-game interviews. But, yeah, it'd be nice for at least one series to extend to 5, but it's hard when Luka – him or Jokic is the best player in the world right now. Still want to give Jokic his props because he did all he could. But when you have Luka and it's like you think you swarm them possessions for 23 seconds and then they just get a shot off and it goes in and it's a swoosh. No, it doesn't even look contested. That's what the Mavs do to you. They're just drain killers in the clutch. And that's why they've been the best defense in basketball. In the last 20 games, they've just, they know how to get it done on both ends. Luka's kind of bought into that. Should be interesting. Maxi Kleba might be back tonight for the Mavs. Derek Lively is out, though. But for the Timberwolves, if this is the last game, I just want to see them go down swinging. I like what Ant did last game. Not too many threes. I don't want to see that. I want to see aggressiveness drive, because Daniel Gafford isn't all that great of a rim protector. Derek Lively has been a beast for them, though. That's why I believe it was game 2 of plus 19. He's so good. And he's only a rookie, which is crazy to think about.
Was it him that went on that field goal streak halfway through the year?
He hasn't missed a shot this whole series.
Really? I know Derek Lively did that too before he got hurt.
Yeah, no, the Derek Lively.
Uh-oh. Did you freeze?
I would feel much more comfortable attacking Derek Gafford than Derek Lively right now. but we'll see. But Dallas is riding with house money right now.
Yep.
Just hoping it's not a blowout, but I mean, who knows?
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I put the Pacers. That's my bad.
That's all right.
Yeah, the Timberwolves haven't really shown or given, like you just said, given you a reason to like believe that they're gonna do something special. The only way they maybe could is if you got the mindset of, oh, they're due for a big game. Carl's due for a big game, or someone like that. But I don't know. Like you said, the Mavs defense has been so good against pretty much all those guys. And finally, started playing downhill, which is how he should be playing. But I think they'll come out swinging. They're not going to go down. That's not their mindset. That hasn't been their mindset all year.
Yeah, no, we'll see. I mean, I'm curious what adjustments they make. You might as well throw everything you got now. I mean, there's no room for error, so it'll be interesting. I want to see more Kyle Anderson minutes because he's actually been really good this series, despite being awful in the Nuggets series. Because I just can't trust Carl. I mean, we'll see from the opening tip. We'll see if he's feeling himself.
Yep.
If he makes a couple shots early, all right, maybe. But I mean, those shots feel kind of rushed. Some of the 3-pointers, even though some were good looks. But yeah, even then, we're obviously going to see the Luka Kyrie thing. But who knows? But seeing the Celtics now sweep, Mavericks probably want to get as much rest as possible, especially with Luka dealing with that injury. But I mean, he's looked the best he has so far in any playoff series against the Timberwolves. But yeah, we'll see what happens tonight.
10-day rest for the Celtics. So yeah, you want to get as many days off as you can if you're Dallas.
Yeah, no, and just get people healed. Yeah, no, it should be very interesting. I'm curious how everyone comes out, but obviously right now, Luka, best player in the world, cannot be stopped. Daggered Timberwolves game 2, game 3, game 1. Oh, it's been rough.
You were saying the same stuff when Nuggets went up 3-2. You were saying, I don't know how anybody can stop Jokic. And then all of a sudden,
I mean, no one really could. It was just the problem with the Nuggets was their defense. You knew Jokic was going to get his. It was just a matter of would Aaron Gordon score 27 4 times to beat you? Probably not. And he eventually cooled off. And it was, having an easy time driving to the rim. And that series was very weird. It was like blowouts for most of the games. I don't know how. We'll look back on that series, at least, Timberwolves and Nuggets fans, and be like, that was one of the weirdest series. It was 7 games, but 5 of them were blowouts. But yeah, no, the Mavericks, they just got the defense. They got the length to bother people. PJ Washington has bothered Cat, and Cat's bigger than him, but Derek Jones Jr., Anthony Edwards, that's been bothering. So I'm excited as we'll preview the Mavs Celtics. If it ends tonight, probably either Thursday or Friday, but
yeah,
should be fun. Even though it's a shame because really both conferences, the games have been down the wire, but the same 2 teams have prevailed every time. So we'll see what happens tonight, though. But with that being said, thank you guys for listening to our NBA recap video and our preview of our Western Conference Finals Game 4 tonight. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.